In this video, we'll learn to perform CRUD operation in ASP.NET Core Razor Pages app in .NET 8. We'll create this book app as demo. In this app, you'll be able to add new books. Added books will display in the table format. You can view details of the books on separate page. You can also edit the books. And finally, you'll be able to delete the books from the database. So, let's create this app. Open Visual Studio. Click on Create New Project. Search for ASP.NET Core. And choose ASP.NET Core Web App with Razor Pages. Enter project name. Leave everything as it is and click Next. Now, open NuGet Package Manager and open Browse tab. Search for Microsoft Entity Framework Core Package and install it. Also install Microsoft Entity Framework Core.SQL Server package. Then install Microsoft Entity Framework Core.Tools package. And finally search for Bootstrap and also install this package. All of required packages are installed. Create a folder named Models. Create another folder named Data. Create a class inside Models folder named Books. Create a book ID property of type int. Create book title property of type string and initialize it with empty string. Create book description property of type string and initialize it with empty string. Create book author property of type string and also initialize it with empty string. Add key annotation above book ID to make it primary key. Also add required annotation above other properties to make these required. Our model class is complete. Now create a class inside data folder named app.db.context. Inherit this class from db.context class and also import it library. Now create a constructor of this class with options. Now create a property of type dbSet and name it Books. Also pass Books model class to dbSet property type. Now open program.cs file. Above build method, type builder.services.addDBContext and pass app.db.context class to it. Now use options along with lambda expression and add use SQL Server method. Pass it builder.configurations.getConnectionString method and pass it the name of the connection string in string format. Now open app settings file. Copy connection string and paste it here. Connection string will be provided in the description. Now open SSMS. Copy server name from here, and paste it in front of server. Also add database name here. Now open Package Manager console. Type, add migration and then enter name of the migrations. Now type, update database. Let's check it. Our database is created successfully along with books table. Inside Pages folder, create a folder named Book. Inside it, create an empty Razor page, named Index. Set page title using view data like this. Now open model file of this page. First, create private read-only instance of app.db context, named context. Create constructor of this class and initialize this context inside it. Create list of type books, named books, and initialize it with default. Now make this onGet method an async method, and rename it to onGetAsync. Also change its return type to task. Inside it, initialize books with context.books.toListAsync method. Now go to index page. Create title using h1 tag. Create a table. Pass these bootstrap classes to make this table look good. Inside it, add t-head. Now use tr tag. And inside it, add th tag. Inside it, use html.displayName for method, use lambda expression to display book title. Now copy this line 3 times to display book description and book author. After it, add one more th tag, and type actions in it. Now, use tBody tag. Inside it, use for each loop to iterate through books list from model file. Inside it, use tr tag. Then use td tag, and inside it, use html.display for method, and use lambda expression to display value of book title. Now copy this line 3 times to display values of book description and book author. Now add one more line. Inside it, create 3 anchor tags. Use these bootstrap classes to make these look like a button. Now rename these to Edit, Details, and Delete. Above the table, create an anchor tag, pass these classes to it, and name it Create. Now go to Layout page, and add new nav link inside it to go to Books page. Now run the app. Go to Books page. It's empty because there is nothing in database yet. Let's add some value in database first. Now refresh the page, and values are displaying as expected. With this, index page is complete. Inside Book folder, create a Razor page, named Create. Set page title using view data like this. Go to Model page. Create instance of the app.db context class. Now create constructor and initialize this context inside it. It's called dependency injection. Change the return type of onGet method to iActionResult. Inside it, return page method, it returns current page. Create a property of books type, named books. Initialize it default. Above it, use bind property annotation to bind it with front end. Now create an async method of return type task of action result, named onPostAsync. Inside it, use if statement, and check if model state is not valid. And inside it, return page. Now use context.books.add method, and pass it books property. Now, use context.saveChanges async method to save the data in database. After it, return redirect to page method, and pass it index page path. Now go to edit page. Create page heading using h1 tag. Now create div. Pass it row class. Pass call6 class to give it width of 6 columns. Create form, set method to post. Create div, and use ASP validation summary, and set it to model only, and pass it text danger class to give it red color. Create div, and pass it form group class. Inside it, create label, use ASP4, pass books.booktitle, and pass it label control class. Create input field, use ASP4, pass book.booktitle, and pass it form control class. Now, add span, use ASP validation for, pass it books.booktitle, and pass it text danger class. Copy this while div, and paste it under here. Change the book title to book description in all 3 lines. Again, paste div under it. Change the book title to book author in all 3 lines. Under it, create div, and pass it form group and mt2 class. Under it create anchor, set ASP page to index page, pass it btn and btn danger classes, and name it back. Now, create input, set type to submit, set value to create, pass it btn and btn success classes. Go to bottom, create script section. Inside it, use html.render partial async method, and pass it, name of this file which is validation scripts partial. It is used for validation. Now run this app. We forgot to add redirect method in index page. Go to index page, in create tag, add ASP page, and pass it passive create page. Something is wrong with script section. We need section, not section writers. Section should have lowercase s. It's good now. If we try to submit empty form, it returns error messages under each field. Let's fill the form. Data is added successfully. We can also see the data in our database. With that, our create page is complete. Inside book folder, create a razor page named edit. Set the page title using view data like this. Create private read-only instance of the appdb class, named context. Create constructor of this class and initialize this context inside it to implement dependency injection. Create a public property of type books, named books, and initialize it with default. Now use bind property annotation to bind this property with front end. Now make onGet method async, change its return type to task of action result, change the name to onGet async, and pass nullable int parameter, named id to it. Use if statement to check if id is null. Inside it return redirect to page method, and pass it the path of index page. Now create a variable named books, and initialize it with context.books.first or default async method, and pass it this lambda to expression to find the book where book id is equal to id. Use if statement, check if books variable is null. Inside it return redirect to page method, and pass it the path of index page. Create else block, inside it, pass books variable to book property. Then return page method. Now create an async method, of return task of action result, named on post async. Inside it, use if statement, and check if model state is not valid. And inside it, return page. Then use context.books.update method, and pass it books property. Now use context.savechanges async method. Then return redirect to page method, and pass it the path of index page. Go to edit page. Create page heading using h1 tag. Create div, and pass it row class. Create div, and pass it call4 to give it width of 4 columns. Create form, set method to post. Inside it, create div, use ASP validation summary, and set it to model only, also pass text danger class. Now create input, set type to hidden. Set ASP for to book.bookid. Create div, and pass form group class. Create label, set ASP for to books.bookstitle, and pass control label class to it. Create input field, set ASP for to books.bookstitle, and pass form control class to it. Create span tag, use ASP validation for, and set it to books.booktitle, and pass it text danger class. Copy the div, and paste it below 2 times. Now change book title to book description in all 3 places. In last one, change book title to book author in all 3 places. Pass MT2 class to both division. Now create a div, and pass it form group and MT2 classes. Create an anchor tag, set ASP for to index page, pass it BTN and BTN danger classes, and name it back. Now create input, set type to submit, set value to update, and pass it BTN and BTN success classes. Now copy the script section code from create page and paste it here. In index page, set ASP for to edit page in edit button. Also pass it ID, for that use ASP route ID, and pass it book.booksID. Now run the application. Click on edit button. It loaded the data successfully. Now edit the data to test. And data updated successfully. Go to edit page again, change the ID from the URL, and it getting the data as expected. Now provide wrong ID, and it redirected to index page as expected. Go to edit page again, remove the whole ID parameter from the URL, and it redirected to index page again as expected. Back button is also working. Now try to submit empty form. And it gives error as expected. With that, our edit page is complete. Inside book folder, create Razor page, named detail. Set page title using view data like this. Go to model page. Create private read-only instance of type app.db context, named context. Now create constructor of this class and initialize this context inside it to implement dependency injection. Create a property of type books, named books, and initialize it with default. Make onGet method async. Change return type to task of type action result. Change method name to onGetAsync, and pass parameter of nullable int type named ID to it. Inside it, use if statement to check if ID is null. Inside it, return redirect to page method, and pass path of index page to it. Now create a variable named books, and initialize it with context.books.first or default async method, and pass this lambda expression to pick the book where book ID is equal to ID. Now, use if statement to check if books are null. Inside it, return redirect to page method, and pass path of index page to it. Use else block. Inside it, pass books variable to books property. Now return page method. Go to details page. Create page heading using h1 tag. Create div. Create dl, and pass it row class. Create dt, and pass it call2 class. Inside it, use html.displayName for method, and pass it book title using lambda expression like this. Create dd, and pass it call10 class. Inside it, use html.display for method, and pass it book title using lambda expression like this. Now copy these dt and dd tags and paste below twice. Now, change book title to book description here. Change book title to book author here. Now go to index page. Copy these properties, and paste in details link. Change page path to detail. Go to details page. Now come down, and create div. Inside it, create anchor tag, set ASP page to index page, pass it btn and btn danger classes, and name it back. Create another anchor tag, set ASP page to edit page, pass it btn and btn primary classes, and name it edit. Also use ASP route ID, and pass it model.books.bookid. Now run the application. Click on Details button. And data is displaying on Details page as expected. We are also able to redirect to Edit page successfully. With this, our Details page is complete. Inside Book folder, create Razor page, named Delete. Set page title using view data like this. Open model page. Create private read-only instance of app.db context, named context. Create constructor of this class and initialize this context inside it to implement dependency injection. Use bind property annotation. Under it, create property of type books, named books, and initialize with default. Make onGet method async. Change return type to task of action result. Change its name to onGet async, and pass parameter of nullable int type named ID. Inside it, use if statement to check if ID is null. Inside it, return redirect to page method, and pass it path of index page. Create a variable named books. Initialize it with context.books.first or default async method, and pass it lambda expression to find book where book ID is equal to ID. Use if statement to check if books variable is null. Inside it, return redirect to page method, and pass it path of index page. Now use else block. Inside it, pass books to books property, and then return page method. Now create an async method of return type task of action result, named onPost async, and pass parameter of nullable int type named ID. Inside it, use if statement to check if ID is null. Inside it, return page method. Then, create a variable named books. Initialize it with context.books.findAsync method and pass ID to it. Use if statement to check if books variable is null. Inside it, return page method. Now use else block. Inside it, pass books to books property. Use context.books.remove method and pass it ID. Then return redirect to page method and pass it index page path. Create h3 tag and ask for delete confirmation inside it. Create div. Now open details page and copy this whole DL tag and paste it here. Under here, create form, set method to post. Inside it, create input, set type to hidden. Set ASP for to books.bookid. Now, create anchor tag, set ASP page to index page. Pass it btn and btn primary classes. Name it back. Create input. Set type to submit. Set value to delete. Pass it btn and btn danger classes. Now go to index page. Copy these properties and paste here. Change path to delete page. Now run the application. Click on delete button. Data loaded successfully. Delete method is not working. Go to model page. We forgot to save changes. After remove method, use context.saveChangesAsync method. Reload the page. Delete the book. And it's working now. With this, we have implemented all CRUD operations in our app successfully. Finally, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.